So here's the scoop for all the play-in games. Now, I told you the Heat are 4.5-point underdogs on Wednesday night. Seems like a fair line to me. I don't really know which way I would lean right now. I know Philly's a good team, but getting the Heat plus 4.5 when it's Jimmy time, like, it's an appealing endeavor. But here are your lines. Tomorrow, you've got the Pelicans and the Lakers. Pelicans at home. They are 1-point favorites over the Lakers. Late game tomorrow, as you mentioned, Sacramento is the host, but Golden State is the actual favorite. Golden State Warriors are 2.5-point favorites over the Sacramento Kings tomorrow night. Then the game's on Wednesday. I mentioned the Heat 4.5-point dogs in Philly. Chicago is hosting Atlanta. You have any idea what the line is? You want to guess, Crowder? Bulls hosting Atlanta.
Oh, Bulls by 9?
Solana, you want to guess?
11.5.
Bulls by 3.
Oh, put it in. Where's this? This is Hard Rock app?
Boy, both of you are shocked by that low line, huh?
The Hawks aren't even playing basketball. They don't even want to play.
Bulls are 3-point favorites.
Oh, yeah. I hate to
Saturday,
say it,
they've already got some lines for some of the round one games. So Saturday, you want to guess this line? Cleveland hosting Orlando in what Solana calls the single least interesting playoff series in the history of sport.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland hosting Orlando, game 1. Would you like to guess, Crowder?
2, Cleveland.
Solana?
Yeah, Cleveland. I'll say 3 just because they're home. So 3. 3-point
5.
favorite.
Cleveland's a 5-point favorite.
Wow.
Over Orlando. Minnesota hosting Phoenix.
This is good.
Yeah.
Good series. Where would you put that line?
Minnesota at home 1.5.
No, I'm going to say 4.5-point favorites at home.
2. Minnesota minus 2.
Wow.
I actually thought Phoenix might be a favorite in that, just based on KD.
Did y'all see Anthony Edwards and Beal get into it?
Mm-mm.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they played recently. They went to pushing each other, but then Beal walked up and saw how big Anthony Edwards was, and he went and shook his hand.
You thought better of
it? Yeah, we don't really want to take this off the court. Let's just leave this right here.
I'm fascinated by the Clippers-Dallas series. I don't know what you do with Dallas if they don't go to a finals, right, Solana? Like, at what point, like, you've got Luka, you've got Kyrie. Like, I don't know at what point. I've thought for the last couple of seasons just Luka is enough, and he's not. You want to guess the line? Clippers hosting Dallas. This is Sunday.
Still tight. Clippers by 2.
I'm going to say the Mavs are favorites on the road. 1-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's Clippers minus 1. Clippers are 1-point favorites.
Huh.
And then Milwaukee hosting Indiana. Milwaukee, obviously the home team, and Giannis and Dame, but I don't know, man. What do you think the line? Milwaukee hosting Indiana.
Isn't Giannis banged up?
Yeah, we don't know if Giannis is going to play.
I think we're assuming he's going to be ready by next Sunday, though, no?
Are we?
I mean, maybe they slow play him, but I don't think Indiana's an easy series. So I don't think it's one of those series where you go, oh, we can get by Indiana and get Giannis his rest.
No, there was a report from Shams earlier this morning. Update on Giannis ahead of playoffs. His calf, he's rehabbing daily, but there's some real doubt for his status to begin the series on Sunday. Although Giannis has rare recovery ability, he writes, he's very much up in the air for game 1. Bro, that was a non-contact calf injury.
And I remember,
a week ago.
He got them thin little KD calves, too. That can go right down to the Achilles.
Well, I don't know if this line is assuming Giannis is playing or not playing. You want to guess what the line is?
Milwaukee at home, 3.
Even.
Milwaukee -2.
Really?
Milwaukee -2.
They suck.
I mean,
man.
come on. They
No, they suck.
Solana, if you think that the Heat are going to be able to turn it on, you don't think that the NBA at large thinks that Giannis and Dame can turn it on?
Hawk.
What does it say about Dame Lillard? No joke. I know how great he is. What will it say about Dame Lillard if he couldn't win in Portland and then he goes and plays with Giannis, an MVP, and still can't win? What does it say about him?
He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. Now, he'd be that guy on the Heat.
Would he?
With Jimmy and Bam, I do believe.
Jimmy's going to play 13 games a season. Jimmy hadn't started playing yet. Jimmy's in off-season still. Jimmy's still dating Ariana Grande.
You're right, though, Hawk. I mean, it would be a bad look for Dame.
Ooh, I think, right?
It would be a bad look. But it goes to show you, man, look at the Suns this year. The Suns barely got out of the play-in tournament this year.
I mean, on paper, they're so talented. It's scary.
Yeah. But they barely got out of the play-in tournament and didn't look good for most of the year outside of like a week and a half where they won a bunch of games. The Bucks lost. They were 3-7 their final 10 games, and I think they lost 6 of 7 to end their season. Last night, I watched a lot of that game. I was keeping an eye on it. They, without Giannis, they can't defend at all. And if Dame struggles from the field, which he did yesterday, they almost can't win games. Like, they're just relying on Pat Connaughton to go off, Bobby Portis to go off. I mean, Patrick Beverley's their starting point guard. Think about that. Like that. Yeah. That team
it shouldn't matter when you have Giannis and Dame. It really shouldn't. Theoretically, if I said to you, which is what we all did when they got Dame, when push comes to shove, Giannis and Dame, who beats them in the East? Yeah. But I'm telling you, strange look for Dame if this comes crashing to a thud at the end.
It's something when you're a Hall of Fame player, and Dame is first ballot Hall of Fame now. Mm-hmm. We know that, but it's like with James Harden, and we know we always talk about off the court stuff. He's very talented on the court. Russell Westbrook, like it's something to the D Wades and LeBrons and those guys, the Kobes, that there's not something to some of those dudes.
Like LeBron, year in, year out. I mean, in his prime. Well, what about KD too? I mean, what about KD with that team on paper? Like,
no, his legacy is taking a beating. Also, I mean, he has 2 championships, but what does everybody say about those championships? He had to go play with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green to win them, and since then, hasn't been back to the NBA Finals.
Very few people go ring chasing when they're young. It's like he kind of got it out of the way, so that he doesn't have to do that when he's older.
He was ring chasing when he couldn't even drink legally. He went ring chasing at 20. Now, who else? Like Allen Iverson. He doesn't have a championship.
No.
Mm-mm.
And he was an amazing talent. Like everybody loves AI. Dame's the same way. Like he's an amazing basketball talent. It's just something to those next level guys that, and I don't know what it is, the intangible stuff, but it's something to certain guys, and some guys don't have it.
There's a lot of those guys, man. Melo, Chris Paul, those are all first ballot Hall of Famers, dominated the league for a decade. They couldn't win a ring, though. They couldn't win a ring.
And by the way, I'm not counting out Milwaukee. I'm just saying if it comes crashing to a halt,
but Milwaukee, they're going to beat Boston.
Indiana. Their first round is tough, man. Indiana can be a surprise team.
And they've torched the Bucks this year, Indiana.
You know, I fool with Halliburton, whatever the hell his name is. Look, Halliburton can play basketball.
Yeah.
So they're going to beat Indiana and then beat Boston in a couple rounds and then go and beat whoever, the Suns or the Nuggets or whoever comes out the West. No, Hawk, I'll tell you now, Milwaukee's not winning the championship this year.
Very interesting, because I think that puts Dame into play in the offseason.
Agreed.
Back for the Heat.
You saw what Stephen A. Smith said, right?
Yeah. I couldn't tell if that was really him or not, because I get fooled by that account that attributes things to Stephen A. Smith all the time because there's like NBA Central and then there's NBA Centel. And I get fooled. So I don't know if that really is attributable to Stephen A. Smith or not.
I saw the video.
Oh,
so
okay.
He did say that if Milwaukee loses, and he believes they'll lose in the first round, by the way. He thinks the Pacers
I think it
will beat
puts
them.
Dame into play.
He says that the Bucks need to consider moving Damian Lillard. He's clearly just not happy there.
He's not happy there. He wasn't happy there. We talked about it when the welcome press conference.
Yeah.
Just whizzed past everybody. There was more excitement at Funky Buddha at our event on Saturday than the Dame introductory press conference. I'm not joking.
Man, fire in the hole was delicious.
We had a stage. They didn't even have a stage for Dame.
That's terrible. I played ping pong and cornhole.
At the time of our lives.
At the time of our lives.